for President 2020, do me a favor and donate to the campaign. That's pretty important. We'll drop some links out there for you real quick. Put that, stop driving, put the link out there for them to donate. It's AntonioTSmithJr.com. Serious run for president, and there's a couple of things I want to discuss with you. Teachers' pay and student loans. Now, make this go viral. I have a plan, a policy that takes all teachers' pay, the average or the medium, no, average teachers' pay in America up to $92,000 a year without raising taxes. Somebody put that in the comments. If you listen, put that in the comments, right? I can take teacher salaries to $92,000 a year without raising taxes. Who thinks that's impossible? It sounds impossible, but it's not if you're a businessman. And then I guess we want to talk about student loans as well, and reform and all that good stuff, right? All right, here's what I suppose. While I'll just share this here feed as well. While we take care of teachers, we can take care of climate change at the same time, okay? My run for presidency is not about raising taxes. That's not really something that I'm into or agree with necessarily. But it's mainly about taking care of the 97% of people who do not control this world's income. School teachers are that. So let's see if we can break this down. I'm going to tackle climate change, teacher salaries in one swoop. Is that fair? Since we as a country love to take care of our corporations in which they don't pay taxes. So Republicans, fine, I'm not raising taxes, okay? That's why I'm independent anyway. I'm not running Republican or Democrat. I'm not raising taxes. I'm not raising taxes on the wealthy, middle class, certainly not raising taxes on you. This is what you do. All the corporations that are not following the carbon emissions that we need to breathe properly or to make sure that our kids actually have a world to live in, what we do is we put a fee on them, okay? We don't raise taxes, but you do it like the banks do you. You treat the corporations, you have the government treat the corporations like the banks treat the 97%. The banks don't charge you taxes, but they do charge you fees. They charge you a fee to hold your money. They charge you overdraft fees. They charge you all these certain things, right? This is the truth. So here's what you do. You charge the corporations fees. We have the government set. It's already set. This is how many emissions we want into our atmosphere. If you go over it, it's no penalty. No problem at all. We're not going to raise your taxes. We're not going to sue you. We're not going to do anything. What we're going to do is you're going to now pay a fee for going over what the Paris Climate Accord and what the world says is standard for what we should be going over. Now, here's what you do. All the corporations who want to jive with that, here's what happens. They jive with it. There's no problem. You don't get charged anything. You still get to not pay taxes, etc. But most of them are not going to, and most of them aren't ready to do so because the amount of consumerism and amount of producing goods and import, export that we have, that we do. So here's what you do, ladies and gentlemen. We charge them. And you take all that money, and it will be billions. And you take all the corporation emissions fee money, and it's billions of dollars, now you throw it into education. You take this climate change money and you pass it all over to education specifically for two reasons. Specifically for two areas. Teacher salaries and student loans. Okay? Primarily for teacher salaries. With that money, all teacher salaries can go to $92,000 a year. I propose that all teachers should be paid $92,000 a year. If you got this far in this video, write that in the chat. Right? Send this to your senator. Send it to whoever you got to send it to, right? I'm literally running for president for one of these reasons. This is one of my main policies that I want to pass in the first 100 days. You sit here, all teachers should be paid $92,000. Why? because the average American makes $56,000 a year, but to live in a city as a renter, it costs $92,000 a year just to live comfortably, to break even. To live as a homeowner, it costs $90,000 a year. So why are we paying our teachers 70 to 60% lower than what it costs for them to actually live comfortable? But essentially what you have is a bunch of people who can't pay their bills paying your child or teaching your child. That's not smart anywhere. Would you have a doctor giving heart surgery on you that can't pay their lights? You would never do that. You would never want a doctor with that level of stress in your heart. So why do you want a teacher with that level of stress dealing with your child's mind? It makes sense, right? That's how you fix it. I just raised all teacher salaries to $92,000. I did it without raising a single tax, and I'm fixing climate change. And what you do is you do what business men and women do. You create an asset in one area and you put it into another area, right? I'm using other people's money, corporations, to take care of teacher salaries, not you, regular Joe, plain Jane. We're letting corporations, not their taxes, we're letting the fees, since they are not doing right by the climate accord, etc., right? Now, student loans. I saw some people running for president doing a pretty good job. One of them said $56,000. Student loans should be forgiven $56,000, and then student loans should be forgiven at maybe $70,000 or whatever, something like that. I can't remember right now. I propose one or two things. The first one is drastic, and you probably hate me for this, but it shouldn't even be no student loans. Just forgive all of them. How about that? Forgive all of them, because you don't give a 17-year-old kid a $100,000 loan. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't give your 17-year-old a $100,000 loan while you're giving it to somebody else, right? That's number one. Now, the reason you do that is because automatically, this is something that you can guarantee, because the government's going to get their money back. Now, that's a bit drastic. And of course, we got that fee money coming from the same carbon fee that we were talking about. I propose that if you make less than $30,000, if you make $35,000 and below, no student loans. Plus, seriously, if you make $30,000, if you make $40,000, if you make $50,000, if you make $60,000, unless you make $250,000 a year, you ain't got to pay for student loans. That's why I'm at. Student loans is one of the biggest things that are killing the deficit, that are making the deficit stay alive. Student loans is one of the main things stopping the 97% for actually having a great economy. Student loans are what keeping you in the debt slavery and making you work for a very long time. Student loans are unfair because it's you going to a college that don't work no more. College is a big scam these days now. College don't work anymore, and I have a master's. College worked before the internet. College worked before greed took over, but you're no longer getting your return on investment at all. The major corporations and the biggest companies in the world no longer require college degrees. College is scrambling to stay alive, and the way they're going to stay alive is keep taking your money. They have tax-free endowments. One college, I won't say the college name, but it's a Ivy League college, has a $385 billion college endowment, tax-free. There's never enough money. They never taking enough money, in which most colleges, about 22% of their money is from tuition. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And it's wrong to doom a young adult to a life of debt slavery that they can't get out of to 65. That's it. Those are my solutions. Let's see if we can recap. Three things we talked about. I can fix teachers' pay into $92,000 a year without raising a single tax by creating a carbon fee on major corporations, nuclear plants, like all of it, right? Oil plants, oil companies, all of it. Ships, oil rigs, you name it. Factories. If you go across what is approved right now, you just got to pay a fee. That's all. You have to pay a fee to go over. That's everything, right? You got to pay a fee to go over in your bank account, right? You have to pay a fee when you use internet, and you use too much internet with Xfinity right now. They charge you a fee. They do. They charge you $10 per gig going over. When you go over your data package, they not only cut down your speed, they charge you a fee. When you're in the roaming area, they charge you a fee. Charging fees is the American way. So don't get mad because I'm saying charge corporations fees, not taxes, but fees. You take that fee money, which will be in the billions, maybe even trillions, and you immediately put that into education in two areas specifically. Area number one, teachers' pay. Area number two, student loans. And I've already talked about student loans. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. I'm running for president of the United States. I've got some clear, concise policies that literally help the economy for the 97% of people who do not control this nation's income. That's 313 million Americans. I am serious. Do me a favor. If you like what you heard, donate to the campaign. The link is in the comments, and then we'll edit this video, put the link inside the post as well. Donate $3, $5, $5,000. Get somebody in that is interested in having you create your own economy, that you don't have to borrow money or get your income tax taken because you owe student loans. Antonio T. Smith Jr. I'm running for president 2020. You can plan better. You can dominate.